Did you know it has been more than a decade since Pasir Ris has last seen an EC? The last one was Sea Horizon, and that was back in 2013. So this next one is actually located at Jalan Loyang Besar, which is located just opposite Downtown East. This land plot was tendered in May 2024 at a land price of 557 million. This amounts to be about 729 PSF per plot ratio. That's a really strong bid for this area because developers see that there will be a lot of interest in the Pasir Ris area with the upcoming MRT interchange, as well as easy access to the beach, the park, and as well as the many amenities nearby. So based on the master plan, we noticed that the high floors will very likely have very nice unblocked views towards the sea, as the buildings nearby are actually only about 5 stories high. So how does this compare to the recent ECs as well as the upcoming ones? Join me to find out more. So let's take a look at Aura at Tampines that launched in March this year, and their land bid price was 721 PSF per plot ratio, very close to Coastal Cabana's. The average selling price was 1,769 PSF and a high of 1,882 PSF. And do you know Aura of Tampines sold out all 760 units just during the second timer booking 1 month later? The strong demand for ECs was fueled by the news showing that a lot of people are actually making profits of at least $1 million in the resale market. Now let's see how does this compare to the upcoming EC at Tampines West. Simeon won the bid at 768 PSF per plot ratio, indicating an even stronger demand for this area because this location is actually located even closer to the MRT. And this would naturally translate to a higher price in future when they're selling, and this will all be discussed later on in our next video. If you've enjoyed the video so far, do remember to like, share and subscribe so you do not miss out any upcoming videos. If you're staying in the east and Dada will never move towards the north and would like to enjoy the perks of a Singaporean and purchase an EC, then you really only have 1 or 2 choices left, which is Coastal Cabana and Tampines West. Because moving forward, at least for the next 2 years, there will only be ECs coming up in the north area, which is at Woodlands and Sembawang. And do you know that Woodlands has already reached a PSF of 782 PSF per plot ratio? If you think EC prices are high today, let me show you the situation at Aura of Tampines during booking day. The demand was really very high and everybody was very interested to get a unit there. I'll be touching on the eligibility later on, so stay tuned towards the end to find out more. As of now, we have limited information, but here's what we know. This project is developed by 3 developers: Qingjian, a renowned developer who has won numerous BCA Design Mark awards, and their past projects include Tenet, the sold-out EC at Tampines that has just TOP. ZACD's latest project include Arena East Residences, Altura EC, as well as Jadescape. Qingjian 4C and ZACD have also jointly developed Bloomsbury Residences, so this makes it the second time they're doing a collaboration together. Coastal Cabana will have 748 units, 16 blocks of 11 to 12 stories high. Estimated completion is in Q3 of 2028. The architects are P&T Consultants, Landscaping by Ecoplan Asia. Coastal Cabana is located just opposite Downtown East. There is a supermarket, lots of F&B, enrichment centres, as well as many other shops. Pasir Ris Park and the beach is also just minutes walk away. Of course, we have many other malls nearby like White Sands, Pasir Ris Mall and Loyang Point. Coastal Cabana is also located 2 to 3 stops away from Pasir Ris MRT and the new Pasir Ris East MRT on Cross Island Line. With family-friendly amenities, nearby dining, cycling paths and plenty of outdoor activities, Coastal Cabana is a perfect place to reconnect, recharge and create memories together. Now let's talk about the 5 key eligibility criteria for buying an EC. Firstly, at least one of the buyer has to be a Singaporean citizen in your application. You can apply as a Singapore citizen with another Singapore citizen or together with a permanent resident. Foreigners are not eligible to purchase a new EC unless they are married to a Singapore citizen and have a Singapore citizen or Singapore permanent resident child. Next, you must form a family nucleus which falls under one of these schemes: the public scheme, husband and wife, or parents and children; fiancé-fiancée scheme, couples who are engaged and plan to get married within 3 months after key collection; orphan scheme, siblings whose parents are no longer around; joint single scheme, up to 4 Singaporean citizens aged 35 and above, which means 1 Singaporean citizen buyer is not allowed to purchase an EC on their own. All applicants and essential occupiers must be eligible and form one of these family units in order to purchase an EC. You must also be a minimum age of 21 years old. However, if you're applying under the Joint Single Scheme, all applicants must be at least 35 years old. This rule ensures that priority is given to Singaporean family nucleus first. Next is your household income. Your combined monthly income must not exceed 16,000 in the last 12 months, up to 2 months before the EC application. This includes all working applicants and occupiers declared in your application. But what if you're unemployed and took a sabbatical during this period? Then the combined income will also be prorated accordingly by the number of actual months worked. So what most of my clients do not realize is that some components in your payslip actually does not constitute to your monthly income. And if you're uncertain, just reach out to me, as this is something I can definitely help you with. Lastly, property ownership. To be eligible, you must not own any private property locally or overseas. If you have sold a private property, you will have to wait 30 months before you are able to apply for an EC. Also, if you would like to buy an EC, you must have at least one chance to purchase subsidized housing, which means you'll be either a first-timer or a second-timer. Some of my clients who have actually purchased a resale unit have enjoyed grants, which actually means that now they are actually a second-timer. So if you are in doubt, now would be a good time to find out. And that's it. These are the 5 key requirements for you to purchase an EC. Once you've run through all these hoops, congratulations, it means that you're now eligible to purchase an EC. But wait, why is it so difficult for a first-timer to purchase an EC? This is because in order to purchase an EC, we are using MSR instead of TDSR. Sounds a bit confusing? Let me break it down for you. TDSR stands for Total Debt Servicing Ratio. It basically means that out of your total income, how much of it goes towards paying for your loans. This includes your home loan, car loan, credit cards, as well as personal loans. The current TDSR limit is 55%. So what this really means is that if you earn $10,000 a month, your total loan repayments can't exceed $5,500. TDSR applies to all property loans, including your private condos, ECs, or investment properties. So what about MSR? MSR actually stands for Mortgage Servicing Ratio. This one is a bit more specific. It only applies to HDBs and executive condos. MSR only looks at your housing loan and no other debts. The rule is that your monthly mortgage payment cannot exceed 30% of your gross monthly income. So if you earn $10,000 a month, your housing loan installment cannot be more than $3,000. And how this all works together is if you are purchasing an EC, both TDSR and MSR applies. That means your loan must fit under 30% for MSR and 55% for TDSR at the same time. Both are here to make sure that we don't overborrow and can comfortably afford our homes in the long run. So if you have a couple both 30 years old and has a combined income of $16,000, they will be able to take up a loan of about $1.8 million and purchase a property that's about $2.4 in the private property market. But for EC, due to MSR, the couple will only be able to take up a loan of about $1 million, and based on that, the property price will be about $1.3 million. So anything more, it means that you'll be paying more than 25% in cash and CPF. But the beauty of an EC is that you're able to stay in your HDB until your EC is ready without having to pay for ABSD upfront. So this becomes a very viable option for HDB homeowners who are able to sell their current HDBs for a good profit to pay for their new ECs by using the deferred payment scheme. And I have some great news, because Coastal Cabana will be combining their first and second timers in the same balloting process without the usual 30% quota. This means you will have an equal chance purchasing with the first timers at Coastal Cabana compared to the upcoming EC at Tampines. So if you'd like to find out more about this option, please do reach out to me. I know that the stars must align for you in order to be the lucky few who can purchase an EC. But when the stars do align, how do you know at what price to go ahead and at what price to walk away? So I've put up the charts of an old EC called the Pasir Ris that was launched in 2002 at an average of only 381 PSF only. Fast forward 11 years later to Sea Horizon that launched in 2013 at an average of 782 PSF. Spoiler alert, we know that Sea Horizon's Day 1 owners have already earned a healthy profit, especially for the bigger unit types reaching a high of $938,000 in profits alone, despite the higher PSF back then compared to Pasir Ris. So now, when Coastal Cabana launches officially in January 2026, this would be a good 13 years after Sea Horizon, and we do expect a similar trend to follow. Because when Coastal Cabana hits the resale market, it will be the newest EC in Pasir Ris. And if you'd like to get a financial assessment to understand your options better, Let's set up an appointment to view the Coastal Cabana show flats together in December. See you there!